Hello, Commanders. Automatic Gamer here, and welcome to my NFL Week 5 predictions video. And last week, things did not go so well for our team, the Minnesota Vikings, losing to the Aaron Rodgers-led Pittsburgh Steelers. And, well, I think this week and after the bye week, it'll be a little better, and this will be the start of our redemption story. So let's get things, but before I get into that, let's get things started with Thursday Night Football. Now you got a NFC West showdown. You got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the LA Rams. Now for this game, division rivalry, and there's a few other factors, but of course, 49ers still getting hit with a litany of injuries. Christian McCaffrey being with a litany of injuries on your offensive line, on your offensive side of the ball. Still, Brock Purdy may be in, but he still could be out. We still don't know if it's either going to be him or Mac Jones as QB. So 49ers still have some question marks on their injury side of the ball, which sucks. But being able to still being able to battle back and, still being maybe a good team and a contender in the NFC West is still good. But for them being to take on the LA Rams, it's going to be interesting and sort of an uphill task for them because, the LA Rams giving Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts their first loss last week. Matthew Stafford playing great. Puka Nacua being just phenomenal player. Devontae Adams, just amazing. Their offense is great. Their defense is great, of course. And, it's going to be interesting to predict this because, the division rivalry and the still question mark at the 49ers quarterback. So, for this reasons, I'm going to give the edge to the LA Rams to get this win and continue what they're doing in the NFC West and maybe competing for the division. But who knows with the 49ers or the Seahawks. I'm not going to talk about the Cardinals until I get to their game. And for your next game, you better wake up early for this one again. But still, you got us, the Minnesota Vikings, taking on the Cleveland Browns in London. And, for this game, this will hopefully be the start of our redemption story. Because, like I said, Minnesota Vikings losing, of course, to Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers, which sucks. But, again, later this year, of course, it's only October, only week 5. We're still trying to figure out the identities for these teams. And, of course, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this doesn't matter because, we all know what goes on from here. They usually have a winning record, then they'll lose in the wild card, so us losing to the Steelers doesn't matter. They were able to, unfortunately, stop the comeback boys. That's us for a lot of reasons. But it doesn't matter, and, we got a few things to figure out. One, it's J.J. McCarthy's year, and as soon as we get him back, we should be a better team. And, of course, we're going to hopefully get people back from injury, hopefully this week, coming into this game up against Cleveland, which still is sad that we are a beat-up team in football. And, of course, we still have a great defense. I love the whole Brian Flores scheme on our defense and in our secondary and our special teams. And, it's interesting because we're taking on the Browns, who has a pretty good defense, not so great offense. And, of course, now they are switching out Joe Flacco for Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback that they drafted, besides Shedeur Sanders. So, interesting now that they switch out Joe Flacco for this Shedeur Sanders to hopefully see what he's going to do for their team, if he's going to be, what they're going to go for the rest of the year, or if they're going to switch to any of their quarterbacks that they have. They have a lot of quarterbacks. And, interesting because how first-year quarterbacks don't really bode well on our against our team and with our defense. So that should give us a little bit of an edge in London to win this game. So for us, of course, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings to get this win here. And, well, I mean, I know we're injured. We should be hopefully getting people back from injury relatively soon. And once we get everyone back from injury, especially after the bye week next week, we should be still a very, very good team heading into the rest of the year. And for our next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Indianapolis Colts. And oh gosh, this might be a weird game. Might be one-sided is what I mean by weird. But yeah, the Colts, of course, Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, whatever you want to call him, losing to the LA Rams and putting his undefeated streak on hold for a little bit. And, well, yeah, the Colts are still a very, very good team in the AFC South. Biggest competition, of course, for them is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans just got their first win, and Titans, we'll just see how Cam Ward's going to fare going into the rest of the season. They're going to be taking on the Vegas Raiders, who kept it close up against the Chicago Bears, but blocked field goal to end the game to make the Bears lose, which kind of would have been funny if they lost to the Raiders. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You still got Geno Smith. You still got Pete Carroll, which is great. And, well, yeah, the Raiders, they can move the ball as long as they activate, as long as they can activate their offense and their capability to move the ball, they can be, well, sort of a better team. I don't want to say a good team, but they can be better and make progress. But they really need to activate Abdul Carter if they want to do anything this year within the AFC West. So that's my take on it. But I would say, yeah, the Indianapolis Colts are going to get this win here, and Indiana Jones, unless there's a giant boulder or a nuke or fridge for you to not hide in, I don't know what to tell you. Those are Indiana Jones references in case you didn't know. Oh gosh, this should be interesting. Well, not this game, but maybe the next one. We have the New York Giants facing off against the New Orleans Saints. And I'm going to start out with the Giants first, and then I'll talk about the Saints. So, Giants, Russell Wilson experiment over, so that's probably great for Giants fans. Got to see what Jackson Dart was able to do, and, well, he looked pretty good, and he was able to defeat the LA Chargers, ending their win streak of the season. Only two undefeated teams left, the Bills and the Eagles. So that's that, I guess. And, well, yeah. For the Giants and Jackson Dart, it's interesting, but also sad because they lose Malik Nabers, so that's going to hurt a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is still pretty good, and they can usually, sometimes, if they're into it, have a run game and are able to move the ball, but I don't really know for the Giants. I mean, I think Jackson Dart for their team is going to be really good, especially how he performed last week against the Chargers, but that's just going to be interesting, and with them taking on the New Orleans Saints, Saints were able to have a battle with the Buffalo Bills, but the Bills were still able to do Bills things. Josh Allen was Josh Allen, James Cook is James Cook, and yeah, able to take control of that game and beating the New Orleans Saints. And, well, Tyler Shough just show some progress and hopefully have a good protection on the offensive line. I'm just going to say that for Saints fans. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants to get the win here. And, well, yeah, just show some progress, Saints. And for your next match, you have oh gosh, this is going to be a weird game. You got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Jets. I'm going to start out with the Jets first, and then I'll hopefully save my laughter for the Cowboys. So the Jets, of course, they're the Jets. What else do I have to say? Going up against the Dolphins, getting the Dolphins their first win. The Jets are still 0-4, and no shocker there. And, well, the Jets are the Jets. Justin Fields is still really pretty good on their team. They can sometimes move the ball, but Dolphins defense able to shut them down where they could still score points, and they try to make it a close game, but ended up coming up pretty short. And, well, Jets fans, well, I don't really know what to tell you guys, but yeah, I don't know what to say about the Jets. Yeah, and them taking on the Dallas Cowboys, and Dallas Cowboys last week tying with the Green Bay Packers, which was great. And, well, this may be interesting and, well, maybe ugly at the same time because Cowboys defense, not great at all. It's awful. They have an awful defense. Unless it was against the Packers, then it's usually good. But, yeah, they can move the ball with Dak Prescott, even without Micah Parsons. They can still do fine. Their defense is trash. Their offense and run game, it's decent. Could it be better? Yeah, it could. Going up against the Jets and Justin Fields, I'm going to give the advantage to the Dallas Cowboys. And, well, Cowboys, yeah, who knows if this is even your year. It's probably not. But if you're a Cowboys fan, that's what you're saying. Well, your next game is going to be you got the Denver Broncos facing off against the Philadelphia Eagles. And this one is actually an interesting game because, well, maybe because of the defense or either because of the offense or defense. You can make the argument for either or. But, yeah. Let's just say because, well, Broncos able to take care of Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals, shutting them down, only allowing them to get 3 points in that game. So that wasn't too great if you're a Bengals fan and you're just waiting for Joe Burrow to come back at this point, or to either show some progress with him or without him as your quarterback. But yeah, Broncos defense, absolutely formidable. Bo Nix, still a great quarterback. They know how to move the ball for the Denver Broncos. They can run, he can throw, they can move the ball very efficiently with the offense. He's got great protection. And with them facing off against the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, well, Eagles, they have a great offense. If Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, you got Saquon Barkley. If Saquon Barkley doesn't work out, you got Jalen Hurts. And, well, yeah, great offense. They can run the ball. They can move the ball like pretty much anywhere. They have a pretty good defense. It's still weakened up a little bit because of what happened in the offseason, but it's still a good defense. But this is honestly a really hard game to predict. You guys might have to help me with this in the comments. I don't know, because, well, both defenses are really good, so this may be a defensive or offensive battle, but I don't know. Either, oh gosh, what am I going to say for this? Because one team has been defeated and the other one is undefeated. Yeah, this is a interesting and weird one to predict, but for this one, I'm going to go just because of where it's being played, I think I might go with the... No. I'm going to go with the Broncos to get this win. I'm going to go with the Broncos to end the Philadelphia Eagles streak. And if you win this one, that would just be amazing. But if you can't, we'll take care of the Eagles week 7 and beat them for you guys. So that's that. And following that game, you have... Oh, Lord. This might be a good game, or it's going to be an ugly game. Who knows? You got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Carolina Panthers. Dolphins, you won your first game of the season. Yes. Sure, it was up against the Jets, and you were at home, but you won a game. But, yeah. It was a win, but it was a loss. Good because you won the game, but bad also because you lost Tyreek Hill, the Cheetah. So, Dolphins fans, I still feel bad for you guys. And especially for, any Dolphins fans that are watching this, I just feel bad for you guys losing Tyreek Hill, the Cheetah. So that is going to hurt you guys tremendously. Even though Tua looked great and so did your offense, it was mainly your defense that was great. Not because it was underneath Brian Flores. That was us. But yeah, your defense can be really good and formidable. And, well, going up against the Panthers might be a little bit easier than the Jets because it's not a division rival. But yeah, that'll be interesting. And of course, going up against Bryce Young and the Panthers, yeah, this may be an ugly game for Carolina. Because, well, Bryce Young, he's not necessarily winning, but him and his team are showing progress because they can't really protect him the greatest. They can't move the ball. They can't move the ball very well. Their defense isn't the greatest at all. So, with that, just show some progress, Panthers and Panthers fans. Just be patient on your team. And, well, I'm going to give the edge to the Miami Dolphins to get their second win of the season. And Miami, go dig yourself out of this hole that you're hopefully not going to be in for too long. Please. Please. And also get Tyreek Hill healthy. If you want to trade us Tyreek Hill to the Vikings, I would take him. I would appreciate it. But that's just my choice. Oh gosh. Next you have the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Hey Texans, you also got your first win of the season. What's not great is your position in the AFC South. You got a lot of work to do. CJ Stroud isn't looking too great. Your offense is abysmal. I'm just going to say that, abysmal. Your defense is really, really good. And, well, yeah, you just need to work on a few things on your offensive line and the offensive side of the ball. And mainly protect CJ Stroud. And for the Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens, well, Chiefs were able to beat the absolute crap out of the Ravens. Lamar Jackson couldn't really do much. And, I mean, I love watching the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. And the defense of the Ravens is really good. Of course, you have the offense, which is great. You got the King, Derrick Henry, for a reason. He can always be great. So that's going to be great on their offensive side of the ball. Going up against a really tough defense might make it a little more challenging in the Texans. But I'm going to go with the Ravens to get this win just because I think they're a little bit put together team on the offensive side of the ball especially. And, of course, Lamar Jackson doesn't work out. You got King Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry doesn't work out, you got Lamar Jackson, and that's why. So, for this game, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to get this win. And Texans, Strouds, if you lose, just don't blow up anything. So, don't get angry on your team. Next, you have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. this may be a weird game. I'm going to start out with the Cardinals first because I know it's going to go on with the Titans. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. Well, Kyler Murray, he can be a good quarterback. Again, Marvin Harrison Jr. just got him a little while ago. And he's doing better. He's doing better, but he still needs to improve upon a few things. One, catch a freaking ball in the NFL for your team. But also the Cardinals, for being a dark horse team, that's okay in the NFC West. I mean, I know you guys need to show some progress and maybe work on your efficiency to move the ball downfield, so that's going to hurt you guys. And, well, your defense isn't the greatest. It could be nice to show some progress on your defense and your offensive side of the ball and move the ball. Your run game is still pretty good on the Cardinals side of things, so that's great. And for the Cardinals, this is an interesting game, and with them taking on the Tennessee Titans, well, I don't really know what to say about the Titans other than just protect Cam Ward and stop him from being sacked, for goodness sakes, because he has shown a ton of potential, and you're just allowing him to be sacked, and you can't really do anything about it. And your defense isn't great. Your offensive line can't block. You can't move the ball. Cam Ward can show that he can move the ball, but why is he doing that if he's just getting sacked all these times? So that's not great for Titans and the Titans fans. So, yeah. This game, if you can protect him, that would be awesome for the Titans, but this game, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals to get this win. And Titans, just protect Cam Ward, please, 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 for God's sakes. This might be a better game, talking with, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, making it a closer game against the Philadelphia Eagles. I know losing against the Eagles that can only play a half or a quarter of football. And of course, Baker Mayfield is still a great QB. You got Chris Godwin. Of course, you got Mike Evans. You got some guys that are still going to come back from injury that you guys got on your offensive line and your offensive side of the ball. You still got guys like Ibuka. You still got a really good defense. You have a great secondary. And so that's really going to help the Buccaneers. And with the Buccaneers facing off against Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks, well, Seahawks are in a fine position in the NFC West. But yeah, Sam Darnold, the big thing for me is Sam Darnold is not having nightmares behind the offensive side of the ball on the Seattle Seahawks, so that's great. He's still playing very good, and of course, you got your offensive side of the ball. Of course, they got guys like I still believe in JSN. He's still great. And of course, they got Cooper Kupp that can still move the ball. They have a pretty good offense because Sam Darnold's not having nightmares about it anymore. They have a well-rostered, their defense, well, it's still good. Their defense is still good, so that might give the Seahawks an edge, but for this game, between both of these teams, I'm going to give the edge to the Buccaneers just because I believe in the depth on their team with the QB and the amount of weapons that they have on their offensive side of the ball. I think they'll be able to move the ball a little bit more efficiently than the Seattle Seahawks. So, Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield just keep on baking up those wins. Following that game, you have the Detroit Lions facing off against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Lions able to take care of the Cleveland Browns after they embarrassed the crap out of the Green Bay Packers. And I think the Lions and the Vikings, us, are especially happy that the Cowboys and Packers tied it and were just doing nothing on their side of the ball. The Packers are falling apart right now, but yeah, that's great. But yeah, for the Lions facing off against the Cleveland Browns, closer at the beginning, and then the Lions just ran away with that game. Jared Goff, super efficient. You still got guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Brian Branch on your defense and on your secondary. You still got Jameer. You still got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, so that's great on your offensive line. You got Dan Campbell still. You have a really good offense, really great defense, and a good secondary. And, of course, facing off against the Cincinnati Bengals. This might be an ugly game for Cincinnati. Although, I know you guys can't really do much on the offensive side of the ball or in the defense or have any money left, but that's a joke because of all the money that they spent on those contracts. I still think it's funny every time I hear about it. But, yeah, for the Bengals, this might be an ugly game, but however, to give the Bengals a little bit of an edge, to give them some hope, I'm going to go with the Bengals, but only because it's being played in Cincinnati. So I'm going to give the Bengals, hopefully that enough of an edge can maybe get them over and win this game against the Lions. So Bengals, please show some more progress and please beat the Detroit Lions. That would be amazing. Following that for you got the Washington Commanders facing off against the LA Chargers. The Commanders losing to the Falcons, and yeah, the Commanders keeping it close against them, and then the Falcons were just like, all right, let's just try and see if we can win this game, and they did. And of course, the Falcons, I think they're still trying to figure out their identity, but the Commanders, at least we know what they are, where they're at, and of course, Jane Daniels, he's got a minor knee injury, so he's still day-to-day on to see if he's going to be able to play or not. Still, the Commanders, they still got guys like Scary Terry. They have a pretty good offense. I like their defense a lot. Their secondary is very good. They can move the ball. They can throw the ball wherever they need to, whenever they need to, usually. And for them facing off against the LA Chargers and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had his worst game last week, which sucks because he can be a really good quarterback. And, well, yeah, Chargers are really efficient at moving the ball on the offensive side of the ball and especially have a really good defense. So this probably could be a really close and exciting game for this week in the NFL. So, yeah, that's interesting on this side of the ball, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to predict because I don't know where this would go because I think this would be a really close and exciting game, but depends on where it's being played. That's where I'm probably going to give my edge to. Well, let's see. All right, so being played in California, in LA, I'm going to give the edge to the LA Chargers to get this win here just because of it's their home territory, and this might help them out a little bit against a really good Commanders offense and defense. And, well, if Jane Daniels is in and playing, this might be a different outcome coming into this game. And for your Sunday Night Football game, you have a AFC West showdown. You got the New England Patriots facing off against the Buffalo Bills. Patriots, I don't know what to say about you guys because, They won again, but so did the Bills. The Bills are pretty much running this entire division. And, I mean, Patriots, one, hold on to the football, and two, protect Drake May, for goodness sakes. But, yeah, it's interesting because, one, divisional game, but two, I just think the Bills are going to, they're a 10 times way more put together football team, and I just think the Patriots are going to have the hardest time against this Bills team, and especially how their offense moves and how they can move the ball and how their defense performs, and especially in their secondary. So I'm going to give the Bills the win here, and for the Patriots, they have some equipment on their offensive side of the ball. I don't really know too much on their defensive side, but I'm going to give the Buffalo Bills the win here, and Patriots, yeah, I don't know what to say about you guys in the AFC East. You're not the Jets? That's something. And finally, for Monday Night Football, you have Kansas City Chiefs facing off against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, this is interesting because, well, one, two very, well, I think, yeah, I'm going to start with the Chiefs first on this one. Because the Chiefs able to battle and take away the Baltimore Ravens and able to stop Lamar Jackson on whatever the Ravens were doing on that game on football on Sunday football for the Chiefs. And yeah, they're hoping to claw and make their way back to the top of the AFC West and be like, all right, we've lost a few games and we're a good team. We're still going to be a Super Bowl contender. I have no doubt that's maybe what the Chiefs are going to be, because of course they have Andy Reid, they have Patrick Mahomes, they still got a pretty good offense. Of course, there's still some guys that they're missing on these games, which is going to hurt them. They have a really good defense, a pretty good secondary, and facing off against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars offense, it usually is pretty good, especially if Trevor Lawrence plays pretty well and he's healthy. And, well, the Jaguars, of course, main competition, I think, would be the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC South. And, of course, Jaguars defense, it's really, really good. So this may be a defensive battle, but maybe because this is being played in Jacksonville, that maybe will give the Jaguars an edge. So I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars to get the win here. I may regret this, but who knows? That's football. So, and yeah. So that would be funny if the Jacksonville Jaguars get this win. If the Chiefs were able to battle back and get a win over Jacksonville, that kind of wouldn't shock me because of how they play. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars to still get this win. And, well, yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these teams in the comments below. If you guys want to talk more football with me, just join my Discord and subscribe. The link to my Discord will be in the description. And that is my Week 5 predictions for this NFL season. I will see you on the football field, Commanders.